So, good afternoon and welcome to the launch of the new connector between Odoo and Group S. I'm Philippe Camps, Head of Alliances in Group S, and we have worked a couple of months with Quentin Célis, which is a team leader in HR expertise from Odoo. So the program for today, we will present Group S, and of course we will see what is new in this connector. We will look at what is interesting for our common customers, and then also we have met a lot of partners during these 3 days here, and we will see what is interesting for them. And then we will have the demo from Quentin, and then we'll have some time for your questions. So let's start. First, who is Group S? So historically, Group S is a social secretary. That means payroll calculation. And little by little, Group S has moved more towards a 360 HR partner. So we have a rather large base of customers, 22,000 customers. We have a lot of social legal experts around. And if you look at the different services that we offer, so there is, first of all, everything related to compensations and benefits, so the payroll, the flex, and what we call in Belgium cafeteria plan. Then you have a rather new department, which is consulting, but it really goes from simple consulting to full outsourcing of experts at the customer. They can even play the role of HR director at the customer. Then we have what we call Group S Digital. We have a couple of planning tools like API for Oreca, for retail. We also have a tool called Flex. And then last but not least, we have a department which is doing Group S talents. That start from recruitment, academy, outplacement, well-being. There are a lot of services included in there. And what we usually say, Group S is led by people, powered by technology. So now, let's jump into the connector. See, if we really summarize this connector, it's really, let's say, taking from Odoo all the HR time, attendance records, preparing that, and pushing that to Group S. Group S is taking that as the base for the payroll, salary calculation, and then the output is a salary slip where the employees gets paid from. So I'm going to go a little bit more in detail, I hope not too much in detail, and then Quentin will do the demo around that. So what is the new part? What is new is everything which is in red. Huh? What our customers are asking us is, can you please make it that whatever we develop, we can push it to the payroll, and that is really the heart of the connector. But what is interesting is that you have some standard, what we call time management workflows, which are existing in Odoo, and that now will be supported end to end. Yeah? If you look at the different roles, so you have the HR admin role, of course, is key here and is supported by specific functionalities. The employee has specific functionalities, and also the supervisor has its own screens. So if we take the basic flow, which is time off, if I use the Odoo terminology, they call it time off. So it starts with the HR admin. He defines what are the legal holidays, and for example, 1st of January. Next step, the employee can say, okay, I would like to make a request for holiday to my manager. He's entering that. Next step, the supervisor gets a notification. He can approve. And then what is really interesting now is that there is no need for double encoding in the social secretary. Now it's really pushed automatically. And we really support the end-to-end process. Another workflow that is also supported with this connector is what we call attendance. And that is basically badge in, badge out. So you badge 7:32, I start my work, 16:47, I finish my work. That is pushed from the employee to the supervisor. Supervisor can modify, approve, and boom, again, push to payroll. A third one, and we are at this point, we have really developed what we call Joint Committee 200, Paritaire Comité 200, Comité Paritaire 200. We have started with a simple one, and we will gradually deliver all the other ones which are more complex. But in this Paritaire Comité 200, there is a work process which is called shift planning. So you might have some employees that say you need to work Monday, Tuesday, Saturday. That is defined by the supervisor. Employee gets his shifts, and then afterwards supervisor approved, and again, that workflow is fully supported by the connector and pushed to the social secretary. And Quentin will show that much more in detail and much better than what I do. I also wanted to mention, so Group S we are very active in HR, and in fact, we are very happy to see that there is a lot of very advanced functionalities in HR that support our customers. So I name a few. HR contract, I mean, you know that it's fully electronic now, fully digital, electronic signature. Dimonas, which is, that's point number 4. Dimonas is specific for Belgium. What is also nice, the recruitment process is very advanced, and the one where we are here for today is the 9 payroll, so we are pretty happy with that. Then of course, as you can imagine, we want to make this a win-win for our common customer, and we share all the same customer, but also we want to make this create some value for our partners. So if I start with our customers, what you still often see today is that in Odoo or in other systems, the customer has to enter all his planning and his hour in his system, and again, through an Excel sheet and a web application, whatever, double encoding in the social secretary. And that is really what we want to reduce really this manual data entry. That is target number 1. Second thing, of course, when you talk about payroll, the last thing you want to have is some errors in your payroll. And by reducing this double encoding, naturally, you will reduce the risk of errors. The third one, more data means better reporting. Better reporting means better decisions by the management, and that is also appreciated. The fourth one is something that you do not hear so much yet, but it starts to be interesting, is in your HR department, you do not like too much your people to say you should manipulate this Excel sheet, you should double enter this data. The people are not motivated by that. If they are not motivated, there is a risk that they leave, and if they leave, your retention rate is decreasing. And nowadays, you know the war for talent, you want to have your people motivated, so by having a good digital experience, you have more chance that you keep your people happy, and that's what we want to have. I will finish with what's in for the partners. So in these 3 days, we met a lot of partners, and we were really happy that they are waiting for this. There is a demand for this in the market. Our common customers are asking for this. So now it's standard, available in the version 18. Thank you, Odoo, for doing that with us. And the Odoo partners, you don't need to explain them. Huh? They know that if there is something standard, customers will ask many other things, and that's good business for them to provide some modifications on that. I also wanted to mention that what is also appreciated by our common customers is that now we can approach a customer together, social secretary, Odoo partner, and provide an integrated solution, and that's what they like. They are fed up with double encoding and separate system. They really want systems which are integrated. And of course, something that we also discussed a lot, having support from Group S to the customers, to the partners, that is also something which is very appreciated. Voilà, that's it from my side. Time for the demo.
Thank you, Philippe. First thing I wanted to say is indeed, as Philippe showed in the slides, Odoo is able to handle lots of HR workflows, HR use cases. If you attended Odoo Experience yesterday, maybe during the HR day, you saw what are all the possibilities that Odoo can cover, starting from recruitment all the way to employee management, skills management, contract management, and as you said, all the way up to payroll, Philippe. But if you remember well, last year when we met, we discussed a bit together and we saw we might need a little bridge between Odoo and what Group S is capable to do, because in Belgium it's difficult to compute salaries. It's a real business, it's a real knowledge that you need to have, and this is what you guys provide to our common customers. So we've built that bridge, so now it is there. And my main objective for the demonstration today will be to show you two things. The first thing that I want to show is the minimal setup that you need to configure to make this work. And second, I'll try, if possible, to convince you not to wait in order to set that up for you in your own company by implementing it together with you for a 20 people company from scratch. Okay? So let's start this. And the first thing you need to do is to go into your payroll application, right? From there, you've got a configuration menu. That's where you will have to discuss with your payroll, with your Group S payroll advisor. If you don't know your affiliation number yet, you can just ask, and Group S will be happy to give you that information. It's your unique ID at Group S, right? So here, in my case, I've asked this to Group S, and they told me that this is this 6 figures number that I need to add. So once I have done this, the second thing I need to check is the work entry types. What are work entry types? We discussed that a lot yesterday, but basically it's the typical activities an employee can have in his journey at work. Mainly the normal code will be always attendance, let's say, but you can have other types of work entry types. And so they are all linked with a specific code, right? So in order to ease your life, of course, we work together again with Group S to map the Group S codes, like for attendance, overtime, other kind of codes. So we try to map them all as much as we can. And so that's why the solutions comes with a predefined set of work entry codes. But for any reason, sometimes it can happen that you need an extra code. So for this reason, you will discuss with your payroll advisor, and they will tell you what is the code you need to use. In that case, I'll just take the outplacement case. I don't know if this is a good case, but it can happen in companies sometimes that you need to do an outplacement with someone. So in my case, the payroll code that I'm putting here is just an internal code for me as an Odoo user, right? I can set whatever I want. What's important is this one. So this one, I really need to ask to Group S what is the code I should use, okay? Once I've done that, I can just save this, and it's going to be integrated. Even though it's a new code, it's going to work with the export module that we've done, and the structured file that you get in the end to push all your data to Group S will still work and be readable by the system of Group S. Now, there is one last thing that we, of course, need if we want to send work entries to Group S, is, of course, our employees and their contracts, okay? So here for that, let me go to the recruitment app. I will not redo all the talk of yesterday. If you are interested into recruitment, you can just go watch online what is recruitment app capable of doing. But here, let's say that Alex, this is the third flow Philippe showed on the slides. It's really the working schedule and time off, combination of both. And let's say that Alex got a contract proposal and now decided finally to sign his contract. From here, I can easily convert his candidate profile, his application, into an employee. Now Alex is working for my company. So of course I need to configure his contract. So here, let's say that he started on the 1st of October, and I will base my work entry generation on his working schedule. So I'm expecting him to attend every day on a 40 hours a week basis. Now once I've done that, I still need to check and make sure that I identify Alex and that I can send, when I send the data to Group S is able to map who is Alex, who is his contract, with the work entries data I am sending. So therefore, I just need to put also his unique identifier code. It's also a 6-digit code. You can discuss it again with your payroll advisor. So the next thing we need to check, and this is only because I want to show you the different flows that we can handle within Odoo. I created the same thing for Alicia based on attendance. So here, if we look at her contract, we will see that she started in September and her work entry source is based on attendances. I'll check, the last thing I need to check is make sure that she has a Group S code. I will do the same for my next contract, our next employee, which is Anatoly. Here it's based on the planning, the work entry source, and same thing here, I've got a Group S code. So this is really the minimal configuration I need, and then I can export all my data. So once I have done this, I need, of course, to create or to check what are the work entries available in the system. Let's have a look at it in the payroll application. So in the payroll here, I'm looking at the period for October. I see there are no conflicting entries. Conflicting entries in the system is basically when you have a time off that still needs to be approved, there will be human decisions that needs to take place in order to say, okay, what kind of absence it is and what code should we use. Here, I forgot to put the contract of Alex into the running stage. So that allows me to show you at the same time what's happening if you don't put into the running stage. You will not have any work entries, right? So now I've got them. So for Alex, it's fine. I could already send my file and get him paid. But the problem is I want to get other people paid within my company. So let's see what's the flow with, for instance, the planning application. In this case, I will be able to assign shifts to Anatoly, for instance. And in this case, I will say he's working this shift. And in my case, just for the easiness of showing it on the screen, I will go back and put his planning for the whole week earlier. And if I'm happy with this planning, I can just publish it. Publish. Now, as a supervisor, I just sent my planning to my employee. He got his planning, and I will see the same planning into my work entries. Let's go into the attendance app. If you saw the talk yesterday, you know that normally, in a normal case, it's always the employee that will badge in or badge out at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day or when they take a break. Here I am the manager, and I see that Alicia forgot to actually badge in or badge out. So if I need to get her paid and I discussed with her, in my case here, I'll just fix it for her, right? So here, I create some attendances for her. This time I will go until Monday. Voila. Up. Let's create together some attendances so we can see what it does in the payroll application. I will do just one more, but you get my point. Of course, in the reality, you won't create attendances in advance, but this is just for the purpose of the demonstration. So now we've got this. It seems, let's have a look at it in the work entries again. I see no conflicts, but now I get more visual data. I've got already more work entries that I could send with my export module. It's nice, but you will tell me, yeah, Quentin, you've got 3 new people, 3 new employees, 3 new recruits, it's good, but I also have 20 other people working for me in my company, so how can I handle that? Because I need to pay everyone, not only those 3, right? So in this case, what you can also do is just ask or discuss with Group S again to get your Excel file that you will prepare, and you will be able to import it to import all your employee data. Here my purpose is to be able to show you that basically in a few clicks, you will be able to generate your historical data. So now I've got way more employees within my database, and same goes for their contracts. If with a bit of preparation, I will be able to easily import their contracts into the system. So of course here I'll import contracts. If I'm happy with all this, now it's done. And so let's check again what are the work entries saying. Up, no conflict, but here I've got the list of all my employees. So I'm more or less ready, Philippe, to be able to make you work again.
Now it's happening.
So here I just want to show one more integration that we have. If you remember well, I created here a new code for outplacement. I'll just color it. Let's put it into this beautiful color. And what is possible in Odoo is to actually, we will see that on the time of type, it's to configure the corresponding time of type. Because if the person is attending an outplacement, of course, the person is not working at my company. So then in this case, what I can do, you can see it here, you can link time of type with a work entry type. In my case, the outplacement. So now, as a supervisor again, you can imagine that the employee can do that himself. Of course, the whole purpose of using Odoo is having your people doing the work for you, and you as an HR officer just only exporting the data. But from time to time, as an HR officer, you have to work a bit, and in my case here, I will just create the time off for my employee. So it was Alex for the ease of the demonstration, and let's say for Alex, I've got an outplacement on the 15th of October, one day. If I'm happy with this, I can confirm it. And I will create also, because Alex, it's a new employee, but he has already an outplacement. I don't know in which word you will find that, but you can imagine. And then also, as it's a new employee, he also is sick from the first week, so really, now maybe I get the reason why he's going on outplacement soon. So here, I've got my time off that is created, and we will see again what is the impact on my work entries. So let's have a look at that. And here we see that we have a sick day here. I can tell it by just looking at the screen because I see that the color is different. If I click on it, I've got the information, sick time off here, and outplacement there. Now, because I'm happy with all of this, the last thing I want to do, of course, is to be able to send you the data. So here, I go to the export to Group S. I just populate all my eligible employees. Here I've got 24 because they all worked, or at least I have work entries for them for that period. But in my case, to make the end file a bit readable and so I can explain it a bit, I also want to show you with this feature that you can decide who you include or exclude within your batch for the export. So here in my case, I want to keep the 3 new recruits. All the rest, I will just delete them. I could use filters as well, but here it was easy. And if I go back here, I've got only my selection of employees, and when I generate the file, this is my end results. This is what I get at the end of my presentation, here of my demo. So here I need to go back here in this file. So as you can see, it is a structured file. We have worked with Group S to make sure that it's ready to import in their system. And if you read it a bit more, and if you really want to check what is happening here, you will see that you've got a unique identifier here for your employee. It's the code that you see here. You see that you've got a date, also a way to identify the type of work entry code it is. And if you remember well, we created together the outplacement code, and it's here in the list. Here what you see are basically numbers you need to understand, but it's really the time you spent at work. So once you send this information, it's gonna be ready. Let me go back here, full screen. It's going to be ready to work and to import for salary slip computation directly in the Group S system. So just in order to conclude, let's sum up what we have seen together. So really it's an easy setup. The first thing is you need to configure your Group S affiliation number. Second, double check the work entry types code. If you need to create extra, you can. Then make sure you have a unique identifier for your employees thanks to their contracts. Then use Odoo and make your employee take their time off in the system. And once you are ready with that, you can just export the file and send it to Group S. And if I'm not wrong, I did all of this for a company of 25 employees in 10 to 15 minutes. So if I manage to do this in 10 to 15 minutes, I really recommend you to also start implementing it right now for your own company. So that's it for me. Let's go back to our slides because I think you've got a surprise, Philippe.
First, thank you, Quentin, for the good demo.
Thank you for the collaboration.
And this good collaboration. It was really nice to work together.
Yeah.
So it was a good experience. So before we have the Q&A, so we are present in all 11. You see the Tesla Cybertruck? We are just in front of it, and we'll have some surprise for you. So now maybe time for, I don't know if you have questions.
I can check the pad. I will directly open it from here. Odoo Group S. Do we have questions? Ah, yeah.
Tu sais les dire, toi? Moi, j'ai pas mes lunettes.
Having to enter. IT back. So here, persons are saying that if you have to encode the code yourself, you can still have errors because it's still manual data entry. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if you want to answer the question, but what I want to say about it is that there are maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think 2,000, 3,000 possible codes that we could use to match. So we've got all the standard codes already, they are there, they are already correct in the database. So for that, you don't have to worry. It's just in the case you need an extra code, then you just ask Group S which codes you need to use. But all the standard codes, they are already in there. It's only when you have an exception that you need to add another code.
So maybe I will add on what Quentin said. So the idea is that there is many codes existing in Group S. For every customer, we will select which are the relevant codes and we will populate them upfront. So you do not have every time to enter the code, of course, that would be crazy. Huh? So if you select I'm sick and then automatically the Group S code is behind, you just can say I'm sick or I've worked in shift, I've worked overtime, all these codes are already pre-populated. So maybe next time in the demo we should also show how to import. That will be done during the setup, where we select which codes are relevant for the customer, and usually it's on a very short list, and then populate them and link them to every Odoo attendance code. So,
but basically, as I said, the standard ones, they are already in the module, and I think we covered already 40 codes or 50 codes, so if you guys are using more codes than that, of course you need to add it manually because we won't import 3,000 codes directly in the system. Then people are asking, is there an API connecting Group S or flat file to be sent?
So we have already a tool which is connected through API. The API capability is there, but the time was pretty short. We have only started a couple of months ago, so we have decided to start with the flat file, because there you can really see the structure, it's easier for testing, and then the next step, of course, will be to work with APIs. The capability is already there in Group S to work with APIs. So that's the
good news is we have the both of us the right technologies we can use. Also, even for the flat file, we already discussed that we will continue to improve, as you said. Time flies, so sometimes we need to focus on what we can deliver first. We wanted to make sure that you guys can benefit of this module right away as from today, version 18. But of course, at Odoo, we continue improving our tools on a daily basis, so let's see what the future brings us.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure we will get new questions, so if that's it, I suggest that you all meet at the Group S stand and
OK, thank you for your time. Merci Quentin.
Avec plaisir.